Hi, this is Quezada with the Science Fiction Book Club, and here we have Brandon Sanderson, the #1 New York Times best-selling author of the Mistborn trilogy and the forthcoming The Way of Kings.
When I first broke in, 2005, I'd written, this is actually 2003, I'd written a book called Elantris. Tor bought it and said, "What are you working on right now? We want your next thing." And I sent them this book called The Way of Kings. It was 400,000 words long. It had, that translates to like something like 1,200 pages in hardcover. Wow. It was enormous. It was very epic. It was very ambitious. I wasn't ready for The Way of Kings then. I wasn't practiced enough. I hadn't written a sequel ever before. So I did the Mistborn trilogy to kind of, train myself in a series to approach it. What is The Way of Kings? It's so hard to even describe this book. It's been part of my life for like 15 years now. I've been working on ideas and concepts for it. It's partially about the dawning of an age of discovery in a magical world. So kind of a renaissance relating to magic. A really good epic fantasy needs to have a sense of mythology and history to it. In this book, it's about, there are these 12 orders of knights who hundreds of years ago fell, betrayed mankind, and no one really knows why. There are lots of theories and stories and whatnot why they turned against mankind, and the mythology and lore has grown up to the point that no one knows what is real and what isn't real. And this book is in part about discovering what happened and perhaps the refounding of those orders of knights.
Okay, great. And how many books are planned for the series?
10 books. It's a 10-book series, so I hope to write each one so they stand on their own, minimize, the cliffhangers at the end of the books, and maximize the feel that you get a complete story told with each novel.
Okay, fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about how you're working within the Robert Jordan's universe.
Yes.
What is it like for you?
It's partially completely horrifying and partially the most awesome thing I've ever done. I started reading The Wheel of Time when I was 14. When the first book came out in paperback, I've been reading them ever since. And so, these are the books I grew up on. These are the books that I learned to write by reading. This is my favorite series. And being part of it is absolutely incredible. But like I said, it's also horrifying because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people waiting on these books, and I get to be the one who either does it right or screws it up. So lots riding on this.
Thank you, Brandon, for talking with the Science Fiction Book Club.
Oh, thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of the Comic-Con.
Thank you.
And now, here's the man responsible for so many of our sleepless nights. This is Brent Weeks. He's the author of Night Angel and the forthcoming The Black Prism.
The main character is Gavin Guile, and he is the Prism, and that's kind of it's sort of like a Japanese emperor from the 1600s, perhaps. It's more religious than a political station, but it has political ramifications, and it's all about magic. This world is very, very high magic. Magic is used in almost everything, and the Prism is the one guy, the one drafter who can split light within himself and use every kind of color that he wants to. As for the reason why I called it the Black Prism, there's a few reasons that you'll be able to guess by the end of the book, and then there's some that you won't really understand until the end of the trilogy.
You have to know, the Science Fiction Book Club loves Kyler and the Night Angel trilogy. But I have to ask you, what was it in your childhood that created such a demented, twisted mind?
Lots and lots of trauma. I think I had a big brother, and there you have it. Anybody who's had a big brother can probably understand. I think what I wanted to do with Kyler is I knew all along he's gonna become this really powerful guy, and he's gonna be an assassin. And I wanted to figure out, how can you make somebody who's basically a reasonably good person on the inside come to the point where he's going to be an assassin. And so I wanted to take this good-hearted kid and take him realistically to where he's killing people for his job. As I'm writing, I kind of think, I want to make this interesting for me. If I'm ever getting bored, somebody else is getting bored. So it's my job to make it interesting.
Thanks, Brent. Enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you very much.